we'll get this rolling in about 1 minute. So let's see who else. Lynn, good evening, Canada, correct? So I think we have sometimes more than one Lynn. John Jones, welcome. Paul, welcome. Delilah. Ooh, did I say that right, Gary? Delilah?
I think so. We have a few people that can't be on the call because of where they live and the hour that it is.
Right. Yeah, I knew about that. We got somebody on the iPhone too.
Yeah, so we'll definitely have this recorded, but we're about to give you an overview of how it's going to work and why it works. And one of the things I want to do, I'm going to share my screen if it's okay, Bob.
Yeah, but do this because there's some people here that weren't here last week.
Yeah.
Let's
Okay.
let's start at the beginning and just tell them why we're doing what we're doing now and how it's going to work. Like you were going to just do that anyway.
Yeah, I was going to do it anyway. See, I came across a conclusion that some of the things that we do, landing pages aren't always as effective as we'd like them to be. And when a landing page is not as effective, no matter how good the quality seems to be, then we need to take a different direction. And what do I mean by that? Well, if you get somebody to commit to what you're doing, you don't have to send them to the landing page, you send them to the sign up page, right? They've already made a commitment to do that. Give me a 1 if you can agree that that's a good concept in itself. Right? If somebody's already committed to you, you're not sending them to a pre-enrollee page or a sign-up page. You're sending them to your main page to sign up, right? So the second problem that I looked at is lots of us can put a lot of people in, but then the people we put in do what? This is fill in the blanks, guys.
Yeah, this ought to be easy.
Nothing.
John Gabriel.
Yeah, bingo.
If I had a prize, I would give it to John Gabriel right now.
So
here's another question. John Gabriel, since you said nothing, I'm going to ask you. Why is it that they do nothing, Mr. Gabriel?
I'd assume.
Yeah, there you go.
I'd assume because they don't know what to do next.
That's a piece.
Gary, I think that's pretty close. Does he win again?
Well, no, there's 2 parts to it, John. Sometimes it's they're not sure what to do, and sometimes it's fear of doing something.
Ah, yes.
Okay.
Right.
So if we can take and eliminate the factors that cause people not to do and put them in the same system, generating 10 or more signups a month underneath you, and under their people engaging it. Let me shut my door because we got puppies.
Hey, while Gary's doing that, let me ask a question, everybody. Somebody tell me in here, or give us a 2 if in any program you've ever been involved with, you've gotten 5 to 10 signups a month from whatever you were using as a resource. If you've got 5, well, I'll drop it down to 5 to 10 signups a month using some kind of resource that actually proved out and you got real people. Do I got any takers? Come on, James Henderson. I know better with you, buddy. You're a beast. James is being a little shy right now. James is I can tell you he's probably one of the best recruiters I've seen in a long time, and the reason I can tell you that is because I've seen his work, and I know that James thinks outside of the box, and this is where Gary went. When Gary came up with this plan and he started talking to me about it as mentors, it's not really about the mentors. It's about how we look at what's going on around us, no matter what we're doing. So no matter what we're promoting, a product, a service, it doesn't matter. The company doesn't matter. What we're doing is going to change the industry. And we've already got people, Gary, am I wrong that we've already got people trying to copy what we're doing?
Yes, yes.
Already. Go ahead, Gary.
So here's the thing, folks. If we could take this down generations of people plugging into the same system, all signing 5 to 10, what have you, and we have to realize eventually the numbers will put our content and make it stale. So we'll have to refresh and change our approach here and there as time goes by, because when we start looking at the numbers and everybody doing their 5 to 10 every month, what's going to happen? Two things will happen. The companies that we're involved with will see tremendous growth in the legs that we're in. You'll see tremendous growth in your organizations that's duplicating without holes, right? I want everybody to picture this before we can start digging into it. And it's a question of plugging the new people into the very same system we're using. Now, this is kind of a broad brush illustration. We're going to dig into it in just a minute. Now, I'm going to describe what's been done so far. I've taken the content. In fact, I'm going to share my screen and we'll start giving these links out. I want to go to my drive. So,
yeah, while Gary's doing that, because I saw that nobody that's here tonight could speak to putting in 5 to 10, and we're not, we're not necessarily talking about you as an individual, because you got to remember what we teach is team building. Okay, so is it realistic? I'm going to ask this to Amy Carpenter. Amy, is it realistic from a expectation, even a low expectation, that a team could possibly put in 5 to 10 new folks per month? Does that sound reasonable? John Gabriel says yes. Amy probably can't unmute herself. But I think that I think that the majority of us can look at that, because how can I qualify that? So first of all, forget about using Gary and I in this equation. Why? Because I'm going to repeat myself before I let Gary into this. Gary and I have over 50, maybe 60 years of combined experience. Okay. The majority of people that we're working with do not have that experience yet. I've been doing this solid, even from a part-time perspective. When I say part-time, that's 30 hours a week for me, for the last 18 years. For the last 14 months, I've been working 15-hour days, 6 days a week. Okay, because I knew that's what it was going to take. The point being is that Gary and I always tell you that we each only brought 2 people. Well, that's because that's all it took. All it takes for one of our projects is 2 people, and you're fully qualified for that entire compensation plan. And then we're going to help because we're going to build top down. That doesn't change in anything we do. Matter of fact, another business that we have under our umbrella, we did the same thing, but it required 4. That was the only difference. But we did the same thing, and we did it in a shorter period of time, did we not, Gary?
we did.
So what we're proving is that team building is not a concept. Team building is a truth if it is done correctly with the right resources. Listen to what I'm saying right now. With the right resources, and yes, with the right mentors involved. Mentors, when I say mentor, somebody that actually cares enough about you, that wants to make sure that you're successful. Because at the end of the day, everybody that's on the leaderboards of any company always come back and tell me that, yep, they're capable of doing this, and they hope. Listen to this, guys and gals. They hope, they pray that the people that came in under them, after them, can maybe do something. Now, think about that statement. Now, that's coming from a guy or a gal that put 60 people in one project, from a gal that put 200 people in another project. That they hope, that they pray, that these people will follow what they're doing without being taught what they did to do what they did. Anybody, give me a 3. If that makes sense, I'm just saying, if it doesn't make sense, if I can't even speak it right, because it doesn't make any sense, does it, Gary?
No.
What sense does it make to not want to help people below you that obviously have a direct or even an indirect effect on your income? Georgina. Right, John Gray. It doesn't make any sense at all that you don't help them. Because you remember, top-down building, very simple. Collective marketing. We're still teaching this, but we're taking this to the next level, and then we're going to scale this for those that want to run with us. Because collective marketing is very simple. If you use a 2-by structure, then you know that your first level's got 2 people. And when those 2 people get their 2 people, that's your second level. Now, all those people don't need anybody anymore. They collectively start marketing together. That's what this is. That's what you're getting ready to see. But what you're getting ready to see is the use of some powerful AI and resources that nobody else is using for now. Go ahead, Gary.
All right, guys, I put some links into the chat. You need to grab every single one of those. Click on Lynette. Do you have a Google email, Gmail? If you click those links and you have a Gmail, it will put it on your drive automatically. The very first one is the most important for you. It's your Bible. It's your checklist.
Hey, Gary.
Yes.
Lynn's asking, how can she copy these links?
She don't need to copy the links. If you click them and you have a Gmail, it will put them on your drive automatically. Now, everybody pay close attention. The very top one is your checklist. Without the checklist, you can get overwhelmed. The checklist is your roadmap. The roadmap will give you the path to follow to make everything work. Now, what's in it? What have we done? We've optimized content for YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Medium, LinkedIn, Reddit, Tumblr, Pinterest, and I could go on and on and on, Rumble, and so on. Okay? The content has already been optimized. That means you have, now if you want to change it around a little bit, and you're familiar with ChatGPT or Gemini or one of Copilot or whatever you like, you can alter the content a little bit. That's to make a variation for you. Okay? In fact, I want to show everybody something that I did earlier. I'm getting ready to do a Facebook paid ad that's going to drive traffic to this particular site. Okay? And one of the things I did is I came up with a concept. And I want to go back to it. just to show you what I wrote versus what ChatGPT redid for me. I gotta get past the image stuff. And there's Bob in his purple suit, guys. What do you think? But I want to show you, this is what I did for a prop. Can you rewrite this for a Facebook ad, optimize it for best response? Okay. I'm gonna copy this in so you can see what I started with.
Yeah, because it's very plain Jane, and there's parts of it that you just once you read it, you'll see that you may not want to use. And what was interesting is when you see what ChatGPT produced and how they produced it.
It's not letting me paste that into the chat for some reason, Bob.
Yeah,
So anyway, everybody can read this. You know, have you tried opportunity after opportunity, trying so hard to become successful? But it seems every time you recruit new people, they last 3 months and drop out, leaving you leaving you to start over until you give up yourself. It makes you feel like the prune at the end of a dead branch not getting water and nutrition until you drop to the ground and die. No help from your sponsor or upline, no idea what to really do by yourself, no training how not to fail. So what if there's a system in place that not only trained you, but helped you recruit 10 or more people a month, and it took so much farther and plugged those 10 in and those that came after into the same replicating machine? Can you begin to see the vision that you can actually succeed in any company, any compensation plan, period? The cost, well, if you decide to choose one of the 3 companies we promote, virtually free. A few tools, a replicated site we create for you, and you can use for any other opportunity you wish to promote as well. You're not hamstrung by silly rules some companies try to enforce on you. Click the link, visit our page. If you like what you see, fill in our no obligation form and get the details, or call us from the page. We'll actually spend time to talk with you. See exactly what we do differently and why our students get results in one deal alone. We actually built a 6-figure income in 8 months. Not important. We actually have 90% qualified and in profit. Important. Visit us at yada yada yada. Now, I want to show you what ChatGPT came up with. Tired of starting over? Can everybody see my screen pretty well?
yeah, I can see it. People, I want you to pay attention to the format that it produced, the layout, how professional this is, and the bullet points and how it's taking your eyes to where it wants you to go and the flow. It's amazing.
Yeah, yeah. So let's see if I can copy this or not. And don't look like it's going to do it.
Well, that's
Now,
weird that it won't let you do that.
I find it weird because I can cut and paste it in Notepad
And then you could transfer it, but are you going to pick up all
or
the
Word. No, I
pick up
tend
the
to use Word when I get this kind of stuff right here. I can put this in Word, but Notepad won't format it right.
yeah, word,
Oh,
correct.
so here's the thing. This makes a really good Facebook ad, particularly paid ad. Okay. Now I have an image I use with this particular ad that I'm going to show you because I'm going to pull it up. So I'm going to go to my downloads. Let's see. Guys, can you see this image? Can we see this image or just a pop-up? Oh, good, good. So I want you to picture the content that I just put in with this image at the top or the bottom, however they do it. And I want you to think how attractive that would be to you if you ran across this ad. Is this ad attractive more than most or not? Would it entice you to at least click and see what it's about? So where it's going to go is to this page. Now, we're going to make a change to this because I want to bring the form up close so they don't have to scroll all the way to the bottom to get to a form. Not everybody's going to scroll all the way to the bottom, okay? Some people just won't do it. I don't know why. Yeah, go ahead. So we're going to alter this to put the form right here below the video. Okay? So I want to talk about this page and the replication of this page. There are two replicated pages. One is a G-Site page, which G-Sites are free. They don't cost any money, and you could replicate the one that I gave you in the chat. In fact, I'm going to go back to it and open it up. And you could replicate and copy this and change the name and do whatever you want with it. It doesn't have any hosting, doesn't have any maintenance. I even got a form on here, and we can teach you how to create a form. Okay. And I haven't put my phone number. Yeah, I did. I do have my phone number on here. So this is a page you can use for free. It has no cost. If you want a replicated site like we have up here, we're going to probably charge about 20 bucks a month to maintain it. Because when we start adding hundreds of people, the data that's going to be used by those servers is going to be insane. And I'd rather have help covering that cost because it's going to go on up there pretty quickly and pretty fast. And I have a crew of VAs that currently build these pages for us, and they charge me so much every week.
Hey, Gary.
Yes.
Hey, tell everybody what we looked at today after we did some research and what we ended up purchasing.
We have a link rotator.
And this ain't your grandma's link rotator, folks.
So here's some of the things that we're looking at doing rather quickly, guys. We're going to do this training every week. We're going to dig into what's working, what's not working for you guys. We're going to be testing some paid ads in different formats, from Facebook to YouTube to other formats as well. We're going to share with you what works. We're going to share with you what doesn't work. We'll do some co-ops on the ones that work if you'd like to participate and use the link rotator. Okay? But we want to take any new people coming in and immediately plug them into the very same thing we're doing. replicated pages, content, optimized for every social site you can imagine. Okay? Now, at some point down the road, we're going to highly suggest once you start making some money to go with a Go High Level account, which will allow you not only to email them, set up a series of emails, send SMS, and also post to all your social sites right from your back office of your platform. If you can post to your YouTubes and your LinkedIns and your Tumblrs, your bloggers, your whatever you have, Medium, and so on, and you could do it all from your back office, you're not logging in and running into problems. You can all do it easily. Okay?
Give Gary a 1 if it makes sense to have resources and tools that allow you to work like this. Give us a 1. I'm also going to ask you a question because it's easy enough to sit here and say that we've got a professional rotator. Page Swirl, I don't know if any of you remember Page Swirl, but it was probably one of the most professional rotator services in its time, mainly because of the analytics that you got for split testing and whatnot, which kind of started down the road. Well, this baby is like like a it's like a hopped up Camaro that looks like a Ferrari. And what do I mean by that? I'll give you one example. We don't have time to go through all the things that this is going to do to help us, but I'm going to ask you all a question. Does anybody here know about retargeting? If you know about retargeting, give me a 2. If you've ever heard the word retargeting in advertising, give me a 2. John Jones, yes. John Gabriel, James Henderson, I know you know about retargeting. I guarantee you James Henderson knows about retargeting. Okay, for those of you that do not, I'll give you an example. You're on Facebook and an ad pops up in your news feed. And you go look at that and you go, oh, you know, that kind of looks interesting. And you go and click on that. Okay, chances are, especially in Facebook, there's what's called a retargeting pixel that has been placed in that ad inside the website. Okay, now I'm going to tell you something about this marketing. That is almost like the Holy Grail, because not only do you save time, you save a lot of money chasing after the same people that you just targeted in that one ad. So retargeting pixels absolutely not just target when you're doing your demographics to set up your ad. Once they click on that, your ad is going to follow them anywhere they are in Facebook, as an example, or on any other social media platform that you do this in, and it's going to follow them whatever time they get on there. They'll see it somewhere. Again, it may be a little bit different, changed a little bit of different format, but it's actually following them. And retargeting, I know you used to be able to set it up for 90 days. I don't know if that's true anymore. We're going to find out, but we have that as a part of our package, and it's unlimited. So folks, we're getting ready to do some very, very big things in the marketing arena that we haven't been doing, that we haven't been focused on. And it's going to do what? It's going to allow each and every one of you that participate the opportunity to scale not just the programs that we're in, but programs that you may want to. Right, Gary?
Yes.
Back to you.
All right. So now, how many people brought a pen and paper to take notes with them? Give me a 1. All right, guys, we're going to talk about what it takes if you get to the point of running ads yourself. and you'll have our model to copy, right? Everybody understand? You'll have our model to copy. If you can target your ads for the right people, let me answer something. If you can target your ads for the right people, that number one are what? Already interested in networking, already love this industry. How much would your success go up? Now we're interactive, right?
Come on, guys. I'm going to ask another question to that. Why would you want to target specifically people that already are in network marketing? I know somebody knows the answer to this. Come on, guys.
This should be the easiest question you'll get all night, guys.
I'm going to tell you why. Main reason is that now they may not understand everything that they need to know, but John Gabriel said it right there. They're already interested in the industry. They're already interested in the industry. And even if they know a whole lot, they may be a potential bigger client for you as well. But you got to remember what we teach you in Facebook marketing. We teach you to reach out to network marketers and MLMers no matter what business they're in. I don't care if they're in on passive. I don't care if they're in Amway, they're in Herbalife, they're in any of these companies. Those are marketers that you want to target that potentially need your help solving their pain. Problem solving. Back to you, Gary.
I want you to think, we're going to touch on that pain for a minute, because remember what we did in our ad. We touched on all the pain points that everybody has gone through at one point or another in their career. You had to learn how to get past the 3-month drop-offs, right? So how do we target those people in our paid ads, or even, well, let's stay with paid ads on it. We're going to target a specific audience. Facebook allows you to do what we call advanced targeting. So I can use keywords like Eric Warren, Matt Morris, Amway, Herbalife. Give me some names. What's some of the big speakers out there? What's the most famous one, Bob? Come on now.
Ray Higdon's one of them.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
His wife is becoming bigger than he is.
Well, if you put Ben in, Amy, what you're going to end up, you don't want to put Ben himself. You want one of the companies that he's had in the past, or
Yeah, like
that's active.
SBC.
Yeah, that's active. Okay. See, we want to target, because why? Stop and think. Some of them have groups in the millions. Okay. If I were to take Eric Worre, for example, or Matt Morris, they both have over 1 million followers. Okay. Bob Proctor. Okay. See, we're going to put a list together as a group, and we're going to scale through some of this. So when you run an ad, you have the potential reach up in the millions of people already interested in what we have. Now, if you have a potential market of 1 million people, we'll use that as a number, as an example. Let's use the number 500,000. If I can put my ad in front of 500,000 people that already like this industry, and I highlight their pain and tell them how they can get 10 people a month that's going to be mentored, right? And how to create this monster group, I'm going to get their attention, whether they join something we do or not. We're going to have their attention. But guess what's going to happen, guys? Let's say we get 100 people click that ad in the day one. 100 people click it and fill out your form. And maybe only 3 or 4 or 5 actually join with you. Do you know what you have in your hands? Come on now. Put your thinking hat on. You got their email. You have a list of 100 emails. And 5 of them joined you. You still have 95 emails you can market to over and over and over that are already interested in the industry. Just because they didn't join you today don't mean they won't join you at some point.
Remember, what are we doing? What are we doing when you take a look at what Gary had built for us? What does that say about the person that's being built for? What when somebody looks at that, what do they see? What are you wanting them to see? James knows the answer to this. Everybody needs to know the answer to this. They need to see that you are the one to go to. Because I've talked about this before. If you think for 1 second that people don't sponsor shop, I can tell you that they do all day long. Okay? So you have to end up becoming the qualified person that people want to come to. Because I'm telling you, if you think there's enough of them out there, you're dead wrong. Because we're still dealing with 90, 95, 97% of the entire network marketing industry still in the same situation. They're not making any money. They're not making any money because they don't know what to do. Listen very carefully. They don't know what to do because they're not being taught correctly, or they're not being taught at all. Give me a 3 if you're with me on this. Give me a 3 if you're with me on this. And now you understand why you have to learn how to set yourself apart from all the noise. Remember what I've always said to you. Marketing is part of running a business, but without the proper marketing, without the knowledge, without the you being the one that they come to, then you're just part of the noise and you'll never happen. Okay. So this is a part of that step. So that's why Gary is allowing people to clone what we're doing and use us. Okay. Again, utilizing Gary and I and the leadership that we have in place, and to bring your people to so that we can teach you. But I'm going to tell you, part of the qualifiers for working with us is you're going to have to be able to do what? You're going to have to be able to do belly to belly marketing at the end. I don't know how many times I've talked about this. I don't know how many times I have shown over the last 14 months the proof that without advertising, without a website, without a link, we couldn't even use the name of the company, that with belly to belly marketing, we started with 2 people each, and that turned into 100 our first week. That turned it into 500 a little while after that, to 2,500 that turned into 20,000 paid members before we were shut down. No advertising dollars yet. Now, can you imagine, ladies and gentlemen, with these kind of resources in your hands and the ability to set yourself apart from all the noise and become the professional people turn to, can you imagine scaling your business now with paid advertising and obviously using the belly to belly marketing, because you want that commitment? Remember what belly to belly marketing did. Belly to belly marketing required people to watch videos. We have a video in this. we grab their attention by the way Gary had the video designed. The attention covers again what? The problems, the problematic situation that everybody has, even Gary and I, still to this day. Once you become the problem solver, you then become trusted. Once you become trusted, they will come to you left and right, even without paid advertising. But with paid advertising, you're going to bring them faster. And then we plug these people into what you're doing. And that's all this is learning what we're doing, taking what we do and practicing with it, doing your own testing when you have the resources, and coming back and we help you tweak it. This is what Gary was talking about earlier. Back to you, Gary.
All right, guys, here's the beauty of the system. If we can get generations plugging in. Think of it this way. And I'm gonna pick on James for a second because James has experience to put in a lot of people. So James, when you put in, let's use the figure 10 people into some kind of deal, what is the percentage that actually duplicate or replicate your effort? One or two. So basically, we're talking 10%. And that's a number I'm going to guess and say that number is pretty well standard across the board. 10, 15% would be about standard, right? See, our sponsors that put us in deals in the past never told us that number, right? They never mentioned you're going to have to get 10 people to get one or two that actually do something. Anybody ever tell you that, guys? No, they
Nope,
never
not
told
in the
you that.
beginning. Nope.
Nope. So here's the concept behind this. Instead of 10, 15%, what would happen if you get 80, 85% replicating, duplicating, replicating, and plugging in? What could happen to a downline when you get that through 3, 4, 5 levels deep or more? Growth beyond anybody's experience.
And the excitement factor is exactly correct.
Yes, 100%.
Because
Now,
when you bring the heat, when you bring the fire and you build the excitement up and people see that there's other people, and there's not one or two out of 10, there's 7 or 8 out of 10. Out of 100, there's 50 or 60 to begin with. And then that multiplies. When people see this, they gravitate to it, they stick with it, because then they know what's the most important thing that a person can ever discover for themselves when they see other people and more other people seeing some levels of success. What is it? Somebody tell me.
it's what Amway made their living on in the conventions.
It's that they know that they can do it now.
They can do it. They see regular people that succeeded. And it's even beyond that. If you've ever been to a convention, the excitement level is off the wall. Okay?
Yeah, you got to do events.
And when you
Got to do them.
go to an event and you get to go up on stage, what happens to your commitment level? Okay? What happens to your commitment level the first time you break $5,000 in a month on your personal check? What do you think it does for you? Because if you can get to 5,000, you damn sure can get to 10. Right? Because you already made the 5, you just got to do it again. You know at that point you can do it. There's no longer a question. Now, when you're sitting there making $380 a month, $380, you can't see that. You can't see beyond what you've accomplished. It just can't, it can't happen. So here's the thing, the system that for you guys on the call, the system that we have working is going to be far beyond that 10 or 15%. Okay? We recently had a couple people in a company put in over 200 people in a month. 200 people.
Yep.
Okay? Do you know how many of the 200 people are actually doing something? Almost none. They're already off doing other things. Different companies, jumping from one company to the next company, to the next deal, to the next best thing since sliced bread, right?
Gary's right, because I've got a leader. I'm not going to name names, doesn't matter. He's a leader by all expectations. The people that know the name, and again, I'm not going to say the name, but he put in 62 personals in the first, I think, 20 days. And those 62 personals grew into 450 under my wife and my daughter. That's just one part, one leg. And you would have thought, oh my God, we've got the Holy Grail, and this guy's got a system, which I was told that he did. And he did. He stopped at 60 and started working backwards with people. But come to find out that once he started running into the roadblocks of not being able to communicate, or not communicating with those first 60 people, everything fell apart. And lo and behold, that 450 the next month dropped to 300. And this past month, the month of September, dropped to 240, Gary.
Yeah. So look, guys.
And tell them why. Tell them what happened that we are fixing.
The same thing that happens almost every company. And all of you have been through this. You bring in 3, 4, 5 people this month. How many of those people will still be there after 3 to 4 months?
It's numbers, ladies and gentlemen.
Numbers.
Unfortunately, it's numbers for now.
That's correct. It's numbers. We've all been down that road. Generally, especially with product-based companies. Okay? Because several things happen with a product-based company. Product-based company, the products are generally pretty expensive. They're up there $60, $70, $80, $90, $100 auto ships, right? And something generally happens, especially come October, November, December, when you start to do the Christmas shopping. You're making $150, $200 is all you're making, and the wife says, "Why do we keep buying this stuff that I don't even like? We got all this Christmas stuff to buy, and you're wasting that money on the auto ship chasing that dream, right?" Guess what gets canceled? The auto ship, right? So how do we get around those numbers that's kind of consistent in the industry? We're showing you how to plug in and eliminate the dropouts for the most part. You can't eliminate 100%. We'll never get 100% to plug in. Sad as it is, they'll commit to everything you want to do, and fear stops them from engaging and copying what we do. We can't control that one factor right there. We can try and work with them as best we can. Okay?
Look, guys, we could sit here and talk to you all day long, and some of you might be sitting back that don't know who we are, which is kind of our fault for not kind of prefacing this for any of the people that are here that have never heard us before or know anything about us, that these guys, they're just trying to sell stuff. They're blowing smoke up our ass. Sorry about my French, but these are typical things that are going to come out of people's mouths because when they hear what we're talking about, because nobody's ever done what we did. 14 months ago, we started with a concept based upon a business model that we knew nothing about, right, Gary?
Yes, we had
But what we did know, or that what we felt like we knew,
Yeah, there you go.
was that we were going to try and do something that nobody's ever done, because our goal was $10,000 a month for each of us. Okay,
Yeah,
as a dollar amount. So let's put that to the side, because that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is that nobody in the history of this industry ever got past 30% in profit. And Ben Galinsky was the first one that could actually say and prove that 30% of 1 million people in their first 13 months were in profit. That's a fact because I've been around him and I know. But nobody ever tried for 40, ever tried for 50, and God forbid anybody claim that they had a system that could produce 90% in profit and that they stayed with you. This was a concept, ladies and gentlemen, in the company of Des Alpes. But it doesn't matter who the company is, because we've repeated what we did with Des Alpes in another company with more requirements, and it worked. Actually, did it not, Gary, work faster?
Yes.
It worked faster. Okay. So we have proven that without paid advertising and the following a simple concept that we teach, a simple business model inside what we're doing with a couple of videos and belly to belly at the end, because I'm telling each and every one of you, if you think that you can get around belly to belly marketing, not having any personal contact with people, just sending them emails, I'm going to tell you about a guy. And I'll tell you what his name is. His name's Mac Mills. I know him personally. Multi-millionaire. Didn't used to be. But he decided that he wanted push button magic. And he actually named one of his products Push Button Magic many, many years ago. And I laughed about it, and we all laughed about it and said, that's garbage. Lo and behold, the next thing we know is he's putting out his own funnels. And Mac Mills is number 2 on the leaderboard of one of our companies. Could be number 1. And the only reason he's not, listen very carefully. If you think that you want to do push button marketing, which is what I call this, which is you have somebody build you a funnel, you have somebody connect an autoresponder to it, you have somebody connect a 30, 60, 90-day email series behind that, and then all you got to do is take money out of your pocket and keep pumping that in there. Now I'm going to ask you the question. Are you prepared to invest $10,000 to $20,000 or more per month in advertising to get the results that you're looking for? Give me a yes or a no. Is anybody here prepared to invest $10,000 to $20,000 a month, not counting the cost of having a professional funnel built for you, or the right autoresponder, or the right email series, or a person that's going to do what? Write all of your broadcasts 3 times or more a week to that email list that you're building. Because now Mac Mills' email list is in the millions. After, I don't know, Dave Dubb's the same way. Their email lists are millions of people because they've been doing this for 20, 30 years. My point being is, how big a boy or girl are you? And that's only relevant to what you have to invest of disposable income. See, what we're talking about is starting with nothing, because that's exactly what Gary and I did. We started with no dollars. We finished that project and it's restarted. And Gary and I'm not ashamed. I'm not going to dance around it. My family took in $60,000 in our first pay run. My family. From the efforts that Gary and I put out with no paid advertising. And I keep repeating myself to you all because I need you to understand this is next level stuff that we're doing now. But do not forget where you come from, because if you don't think that you're going to have to pick that phone up and not text somebody 15 times a day that blocks you, but you're going to pick that phone up and you're going to talk to people, because I teach you how to do that. If you don't think that you're going to do that, then I'm going to suggest something. Don't bother to be mentored by us. I know that may sound harsh to you all, but look, Gary will tell you that I'm one of these guys that is always going to shoot straight with you. Ask Jeff McBee, ask Amy Carpenter, ask Lynn, one of my newest students who's doing brilliantly, by the way. Jeff, and Amy's still my number one. Amy's been with me for 8 years. 8 years. She anchors my whole right leg. I don't need to care about my whole right leg in one company, because she anchors it. She earned that. Boss Lady 2.0, I call her. But the point being is that you have to learn the basics first. And it's like a child, right? Child's born. Everybody knows now that children learn at an earlier and earlier and earlier age, and that we need to be teaching them at early ages, earlier. A whole lot of things that we never thought about teaching them. Same thing with you all. Even though it doesn't matter how old you are or how young you are. What matters is your age in relevance to what we're doing. Okay? Nobody here is going to take 18 years to do what we're doing. Nobody here is going to have to take 14 months to do what we're doing. If you apply yourself and plug in and stay connected and do what we're teaching. Right, Gary?
That's it.
Back to you.
Here's the bottom line, guys. Belly to belly can mean telephone to telephone more often than not. It's not the day and age of the restaurant meetings as a rule. The telephone works just as well if you do it correctly, because why? What's different in this system than all systems out there? And we've talked about this on some of the trainings before.
I know, Gary. I know what it is.
Everybody should know what it is. It's right here, guys. What's that say?
It's people calling you.
Exactly.
But you got to answer the phone.
But guys, here's the $10,000 question. How much resistance are you going to get out of that call when they're calling you? What's the resistance level? Do you think they're going to pay attention to what you have to say? It's not zero, Jeff.
Yeah, it's never going to be zero.
It's never going to be zero.
But you here look, you have broken the routine of what network marketers think, because network marketers and social media marketing think that you go and you friend just anybody and everybody. Wrong answer. They think that when you friend people, that they're automatically going to come to your page, they're automatically going to click on your links, they're automatically going to buy your stuff. It doesn't happen that way. Okay? I'll tell you what happens. That if you have the right content and you're speaking to the right, remember what Gary's been telling you. You have to have the right demographic. You have to be speaking to the right people with what you're doing. It's like if you're trying to sell oranges to what? To grocery stores, but you're talking to the grocery store guy about buying cupcakes from you. That may sound funny to people, but that's what I'm talking about in relevance. Okay? Does that sound about right, Gary?
Well, there's an old expression about selling ice cubes to Eskimos.
Yeah.
Okay. And here's the thing, we're going to break this down. And we'll get deeper and deeper in this during the coming weeks. But we're going to put together as a group a cheat sheet. But one of the things that we're going to talk about is how to laser target the ad beyond our target market. What do I mean by that? We're going to talk about age groups that we're going to target. We're going to see about difference between men, women, or we want both. Income levels. All of the above. Why? Why, guys? Come on now. Why would you think we want to target that deep? That's a good answer, but it's not the correct one then. It's a good answer though.
Hey, welcome, O'Neill. Just now seeing you.
Here's the answer in a nutshell. Do you think a guy making 50,000 that is interested in this industry could afford an ad budget maybe? And help his team expand even quicker? Do you think he's used to making a good, decent amount of money? He understands the work ethic, or he wouldn't be making over 50 grand a month or a year, or whatever he's making, right? Is there a difference between the mentality of somebody working at McDonald's, and this is not a put down to anybody, in whatever your income levels are, versus somebody that's a mid-level manager? What's the mindset difference? Huge. You're right. It's huge. Okay. The person mid-level, he didn't get to that mid-level without a lot of work. He focused. He was energetic. He wants to get ahead. That person that's stuck at say McDonald's and is, how much do you think his focus is on bettering his future?
Hey, Jeff brought up a very important point. Of course, that's why we're here tonight.
That's right.
Training, and there's all kinds of training, right?
Yes.
There's training that doesn't work worth a crap, and there's training that maybe works and maybe doesn't work half the time. So there's all kinds. But Jeff McBee is a guy that could speak about training, because Jeff, without training, you manage what, 30 or 40 people in your day job, and you're probably 25. You're probably doing some kind of training with them at different times, right? So a guy comes in and he wants to, you're hiring a dishwasher. Does he automatically understand how to use your dish machine without any experience? Of course he doesn't. This is no different, ladies and gentlemen. This is no different. The difference is you have to understand why you're here. Okay? If this isn't about your day job, this is about your future. This isn't about you anymore. This may be about your wife. This may not even be about you and your wife. It may be about your children, or it could be about your grandchildren and what kind of future that you want to provide for them that they don't have today, that you weren't able to do as you work through your career, right? Well, we're at the top of the hour, Gary.
Yeah, we'll need to cut this week a little shorter than I'd like to. I'd like to go in a little bit more, but everybody, make sure you click on those links from earlier on. Make sure you have them, and start with the checklist. Break it down. Yeah, we'll provide a replay then.
Yeah, we'll get the replay out and use the replay.
Yes.
Use the replay because you have to take the time, right? You have to take the time. When
Yeah.
you invest two things, and I'm going to leave you with this. You're going to invest some form of funds, disposable income. Okay. When I say disposable income, I'm talking about income that has nothing to do with how you pay your bills. You're not going to start a business and run a business with money that you have to take away from your bills because you think that by 30 days from now, when that bill comes up, that you will have made the money. Do not kid yourself into ever believing that. It is a falsehood. The perpetuation of making $10,000 in 30 days, if you just follow what I'm doing because I did it, it's garbage. As my son would say, hot garbage. My son spent 7 years learning how to be a day trader because that's his passion, besides disc golf, which now he's just turned pro. Gary, he just got his pro card.
All right.
And but my point being is that the first 4 years he traded on paper and basically learned from a lot of millionaires. He took bits and pieces from them, but he was bound and determined that he was going to learn. So he had a day job, and he comes home from his day job, and he invested the time every day. For him, it was a 7-day-a-week thing. You know, not everybody has 7 days a week. I'm going to get into time management again because time management and mindset, these are all critical components next to resources that you're going to be able to get. But just keep one thing in mind. You're working with people that have already been there, done that. We've already created a team of over 125,000 people in one company, 1,500 in another company that's only a couple of months old, not using any advertising dollars. I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt what's going to happen when Gary and I start using ads, paid advertising. We're going to bring people. They're going to come to us. They're going to call us. We're going to talk, or we're going to have a script that we'll make up a script that you're going to follow, that we'll teach, we'll role play. We'll do all these things. Give me a 2 if you're all in with us. Give me a 2 if those of you that are still here are all in with us and you've actually signed up. 4. If you haven't signed up, give me a 5. If you've not signed up yet to be part of this mentoring program, give me a 5. Yeah, Jeff, you need to be on that form. John Gabriel, yep. So you can go to Jeff. I'll get you the form. So and I'm not trying to sell you guys. I'm just saying, if you want to be part of this mentoring program, you know, Jeff knows not just my expectations or Gary's expectations, but you know, this is outside of the realm. But I can tell you one thing about Jeff McBee real quick. Jeff McBee is a great story, just like Amy working overtime that we've been working very hard to get her out of. Okay, that is part of her goal, to get out of overtime. Part of Jeff's goal is to retire his wife. There's all kinds of crap going on in the state that we live in that could potentially take their jobs away. This is what you got to understand. One of the biggest pains that people have in this country today is the fear of losing the job that they've got that puts the roof over their head. You have the ability to problem solve for them. Working from home is not a thing anymore. Matter of fact, people want to keep working from home, and the government is making 80% of those people come back, or they're going to fire them. So working from home used to be this big magical thing. Was for me. 2007, I finally got the opportunity to actually work from home, and I walked away from a job, and the rest is history. But the point being, is that you're going to have to resolve yourself to decision. You either live within the means that you have being provided to the job that you are having, or if you're retired and you're living on Social Security, you just live on Social Security. That's not good enough for me and my wife. That's why we decided to do what we did 14 months ago. Gary, you want to close it?
I'm making you host, so I can go ahead and break free.
Yeah. But
If you want
does
to have
anybody
a-
got any questions? We normally take a break here and there and ask if you got questions. Before we shut this down, before we stop the recording, does anybody got any questions? Gary, you did a hell of a job, buddy.
Guys, I want to re-clarify something for you, and we'll make arrangements this week. For those of you doing a replicated site,